My name is Fei Tom, and we're at the Mission Garden in Tucson, at the base of A Mountain. We're celebrating the Lunar New Year with the Tucson Chinese Cultural Center and Mission Garden. The Chinese New Year is based on the moon, the Lunar New Year, so that's what's called Lunar New Year. And it goes from new moon to the full moon, and this whole occasion is just to get people to understand how to be healthy and wealthy and how to promote the growing of their crops and be prosperous doing that. So as Chinese American, we celebrate Thanksgiving, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate New Year's, and then we celebrate Chinese New Year's. By the time you get to Chinese New Year, it's like, a little bit worn out from the others, but it's still something that we practice. And I think there's probably just as many cultures and celebrate the Lunar New Year as they do the Solar New Year. We, as Chinese, came here in about the 1880s with the building of the railroad, and some people stayed, and then they started to farm in this area. They would take these vegetables that they grew and sell it to the people that were in this area.
Mission Gardens is an agricultural history museum. What we have done is gathered the seeds from the early Chinese families that reflect the vegetables that they would have grown. So a lot of these came from China and have been handed down through the generations of the Chinese families here. So my great-great-grandfather came over to work in Mexico, in the farms in Mexico. When they had the Exclusion Act, the Chinese weren't allowed in Arizona, so Mexico kind of picked up on that, and they had a lot of the Chinese go down into Mexico to do the farming for them down there. I used to, with my grandmother, we would grow the bok choy, and then we'd actually blanch it, and then hang it up on the clothesline with clothespins and let it dry, and the bok choy will keep for years, preserved, and it makes a wonderful soup. Almost every Chinese family that had a grocery store or even a restaurant or a laundry, if they had a little patch of land available in their backyard, they would grow vegetables. My grandmother grew vegetables, and we had the different kinds of fruit trees of things that were originally from China.
You will not be able to do this in one sitting. It takes them 2 weeks just to spin the damn thing.
Well, because it's Chinese New Year, or it's Lunar New Year, one of the couple fruits that a lot of people use and will have available, and that's the pomelo, which is a large grapefruit, and that kind of signifies family unity. They have oranges, tangerines, and those kind of represent wealth. They're kind of like gold, and they're round. So almost, all these things that are associated with Lunar New Year typically are pretty auspicious kinds of symbols and representations.
We had a little loquat tree that we planted in the Chinese garden today with the Liu family to honor our ancestors. You honor, those people that have passed, but you also honor your future, family. That when you're gone, you still able to produce and have some fruit for them.
So there's the lion dance that's coming pretty soon.
In Cantonese, it's Gong Hei Fa Choi. People will say the same thing back to you. And usually you hold your hand like this. So you're both wishing each other health and wealth.